What is up, guys, and welcome to my first place Phantom Knights deck profiles at this past weekend's locals. Now, super cool and super fun to bust up Phantom Knights, and honestly, being able to take locals this weekend with it was pretty cool. And also getting ready for that Supreme Darkness sneak peek coming up this week too. So yeah, but yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in and see what Phantom Knights can do in the year 2025. Been messing around with Phantom Knights since I updated a few months ago. I've been kind of teasing around with the list, stuff like that. I wanted to refine it and figure out the best one it is. But yeah, we'll say go through it real quick. Of course, the Phantom Knight stuff, nothing too crazy or spicy. Of course, we have the 3 Torn scales, your 3 of your boots, your 2 of your Ancient Cloak. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't do nothing. It doesn't do nothing by itself. It just basically helps. Then of course with the 1 Ragged Gloves and the 1 Stained Greaves, like these are your go-to Phantom Knight monsters. Of course, to round our RPK engine, we do have of course the 1 Rank Up magic, because we are doing rank up shenanigans with this deck. The 3 God card itself is Fogblade, 1 Shade, and then of course the 1 Wings to round out our PK lineup of the deck. Honestly, thought it was perfect. Honestly, well, wanted to refine it, and honestly, PK engines, no matter how you build them, they're always gonna be just good in general. But I wanted to make sure I got the best. But now the supporting engines, I tested the Torgod engine. I tested tons of engines with this, and honestly, one engine that I always love to keep coming back to, and that I thought was always the best, is the good old Water Enchantress engine. Yes, the Rite of Anandasir engine. Honestly, this engine is probably, I think, the best one after testing through all of them. So, of course, we have the 3 of the Water Enchantress, the 1 Griffin Rider. Now, I wanted to commit to this, so most of the time, this is like the engine roundup for the monster parts, right? Illegal Knight. Being able to bounce 2, basically Kaiju style, like bounce 2 off your opponent's boards and give them this is just nuts, because it sets back your opponent so much. Like, don't get me wrong, I say Griffin Rider as being just a negate in itself is nuts, but just being able to basically bounce back 2 of your opponent's cards is kind of nuts. Like, 2 of your opponent's cards is just nuts. It sets them back on tempo so much, it's ridiculous. And a lot of the decks right now, if they get sent back that much, unless they opened up the nuts, they're gonna struggle, especially going against a full PK board. So yeah, honestly, Legal Knight pretty much sets the tempo. Then of course we do have the 3 Rite of Anandasir, the 1 Fateful Adventure, and then of course let's say the 1 Draco back to round our Water Enchantress engine. And honestly, loved it. It worked out perfect. Next, supporting engines. I did run the good old 2 BAs, 1 Seer, 1 Graph. Honestly, these guys are nuts. Like, there's a part of the whole engine. I did run the 1 Kagemusha Knight to have just a generic extender as well, just to go into it. So, yeah. Another thing that gave PK tons of power is the fact that Danger Jackalope and Danger Tsuchinoko are both at 2 now again, adding the ability to cut the Psychic engine completely out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it. I think it's a good engine, but being able just to have an inherent summon, and then just basically another inherent summon if you don't open horribly and say open up 4 dangers, it's insane. And being able to draw for 1 too if they get hit, say if they don't get hit, it's just nuts too. So honestly, being able to have 2 and 2 of these is nice. Plus, like I said, being able to cut the Psychic package is just being able to just say run more advantage gaining. Next, now just for non-engine, 3 Ash in the main. Honestly, it hits the most, especially if you go into a locals environment. You got that rogue aspect that my locals is basically split right down the line, where half the players are rogue players, half the players are either say meta players or sweats. So you know that's how it is. So it hits just generically everything. Then 3 Droplet. This card is just made for PK. Like, it's just nuts. Being able to dump all your hand stuff. Its battle thing is pretty interesting too, so yeah. Now on to like a couple power spells that kind of round out the deck. 1 Foolish, of course, 1 Rhoda, and then of course the 1 Call Black, because we don't like getting hand trapped. But yeah, that's it for the main. Love it so much. Wouldn't really change something about it. It's honestly as best you could get, in my opinion, with this build of it. Next, for the extra deck, Evilswarm Nightmare. Nuts card. I kind of threw Shade away from it and really thought nothing of it too much, but until I actually started testing it, Nightmare, nuts. right now. Of course, one Olivier the Sea Dragon just helps you extend your plays and go into more. One Dante, because getting out Dante, being able to mill some of your PK stuff is always good, especially if you do open a kind of a rough hand, so it's kind of meh. I did run Utopic Future and Utopic Draco Future. PK is one of the decks that allows me to run this card, because I love this card so damn much. I love Utopic Draco Future so much. See, when this card did have its time to shine, honestly, because because we had the good old Dragoon and then DPE and stuff like that, and then Draco Future was on the tail end of it. This card, honestly, it didn't have its time to shine, and it's super, I think, underrated as a card, because being able to out both those cards were just an insane thing. And since we run lots of rank 3s, and sometimes if you don't want to float into an SP, you can just go into this, which I like doing. If you don't want to run this package, you don't have to. This was my preference. This is my like little package I like, but if you don't want it, you can cut it out completely. I get that, but Utopic Draco Future, love the card. We also did run a big XC Dragon engine. We have, of course, the Dark Rebellion, which by itself is a good way just to push for game, like, not gonna lie. Then, of course, we do have Arc Rebellion, which is just a blanket skill drain effect, plus just an OTK machine if you're going second. And then, of course, say Requiem when you want to go first and set up more negates and, protect your actual, like, board state. So, yeah, I did like that. That's where our crazy, like, rank up shenanigans come into play with those guys, so... Next, to round out our Exceeds, the one Raiders Knight to go into the Arc Rebellion itself. So we're not so there's some scenarios where you can go into both of them. you don't want to, because Arc Rebellion blankets everything. Keep that in mind if you want to play that route. But Raiders Knight is there for that route as well. Then, of course, we do have the two Breaksword cards nuts. Card just being able to float into Nightmare, float into the Exceed Dragon to go into your Requiem. It just opens up so much. So yeah, that's it for the Exceeds. Now on to the links. There's 4. 2 of them are obvious, IP and SP. Like, these are, it's nuts. Like, there's nothing more to say about those two. Then, of course, we do have the one good old Cherubini and the one Rusty Bard each to round out our extra deck. So both cards are nuts. Like, both cards are honestly god tier. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I want to keep my side deck kind of a little lock and key, because, I mean, there's nothing too crazy about it. It's just mostly board breakers and stuff like that. But I've been testing some stuff, and I want to see how it jams with the format, especially coming up with a sneak peek event that I might show off after that. But yeah, but that's it for PK. Loved it. Bringing it out, testing it out, getting first place with it was nuts and kind of cool. And it's PK. I love Phantom Knights. That's probably one of my favorite decks, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's it for the profiles. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe like always. And until my next video, stay safe and stay healthy out there. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.